Now, after Killua uses Aluka to save Gon's life, they walk with him on his way to meet up with his dad at the world's tallest tree. But unfortunately, our homeboys are going separate ways. He wants to protect Aluka and show her the outside world, while Gon is finally just getting to spend time with his father. So they say see you around, but frown as they part ways. Since he's Super Kid, it doesn't really take him no time to climb up this big ass tree. Along the way, he starts to notice that there's a nest at the top. So he just keeps climbing up towards it and eventually climbs on it. He sees a bunch of giant hatchlings and his dad snacking on something. He tosses it to him, saying not bad for your first time climbing, before telling him to look at the view, that this shit is like a sea of clouds. But Gon don't care about none of that. He wants to ask him a question, and Jing is like, alright, but don't count on an answer. And Gon simply asks him what is it that he wants. And he simply responds, whatever it is that I don't have. I wanted to be a hunter because at first it was the most realistic way to get to a place I wanted to see. A royal burial ground where the only expeditions were privately funded and sworn to secrecy. They never brought back much research, so who would pay all that money for no glory? So I figured if I became a pro hunter, the financial stuff would just take care of itself. And when he was 15, he set up a non-profit corporation to repair and research the site. Before that, he spent 2 years studying archaeologists' websites and learned that he needed about 10 trustworthy people to set up this company. Some eccentrics who only care about the truth. But I'm always after what I need right now. It almost doesn't matter what my objective of desire is. Gon's just kind of confused, like, bro, you're saying a whole lot of nothing. He explains that all the people he met and recruited were older than him. Grad students, office workers, and freelancers. When I told them my plan, they all volunteered whatever money they had. Finally set foot in the tomb, what made me the happiest, it wasn't seeing the inside with my own eyes, but the moment we all looked at each other and shook hands. Even now, they're still working there and giving me updates. But compared to the people, the information I got from the tomb was just a bonus. The best part, I already had. But Gon's like, alright, well, what are you after now? He says, that takes a little bit of explaining. Now, what tree is this we're sitting on? And Gon says, the world tree, right? He says, yeah, now what do they say about it? And Gon brings up that it's called the tallest tree in the world. And he says that's not wrong. The truth is, its growth is stunted. It didn't get enough nutrients and is much shorter than it could have been. The real world tree grows out of a mountain. Its roots suck up magma and reach out into the atmosphere. He says it's outside of this world, but Gon's like, what are you talking about? He's like, bro, the map of the world you know isn't complete. The ants you fought were from outside too, and that's something they don't want to teach you in school. As adults with common sense, try not to open Pandora's box. But the world we know is only one part of a much bigger world, and some chosen people long ago left records of their travels to the other side. You get it? What I want is always the same. It's something that I don't have. I will need a lot of things to get there, at least 4 just to get started. Permissions, the means, qualifications, and a contract. And I don't have any of them, but I'm not in any special hurry. I'm just enjoying the journey. So if your destination is the same as mine, enjoy the side trips a lot. Because something more important than the thing you're hunting could be right there by the side of the road. So Gon returns Jing's hunter's license that Kite gave him, and they just spend the whole night catching up on top of the world tree, discussing their plans to pursue this other world. It shows Aunt Mito getting a postcard and some money from Gon. Oral and Nav are just meeting up to have a drink, you know, R.I.P. the old man. They even poured one for him, just leaving it on his desk. As the sun rises, just an enormous flock of birds blocks out the sky. So literally everybody just stops to look, and the rest of the gang is streaming it, just watching from their computers. Even Killua and Leorio are checking in from where they are. And all these good vibes remind him of Kurapika, so he decides to give him a call. And that's when we get one of the coldest panels ever of him just letting his phone ring in his hand, as he's just coldly sitting and looking at all of the eyes he's recovered that have been stolen from his family. It cuts over to Killua's butlers, and it looks like bro survived, but nah, it's just one of the shapeshifters, so R.I.P. bro. It cuts back over to where the Chimera Ant arc took place. They just had to give us one more visual of this sweet love right here, like, I'm so cooked. But remember, now that the chairman is dead, Cheetle, this green-haired girl, has been appointed the new chairman. Beans interrupts everybody, saying that there's big trouble, and he turns on the projector to show a video of some guy from the Kakin Empire who is marketing a campaign to explore the Dark Continent, seeking vast amounts of resources and food, but also the untapped reserves for the future of humanity. So all the Zodiacs are like, hell no, he's trying to go to the Forbidden Region? One of them doesn't know what the Dark Continent is, and she explains that it's outside of the world map. and it's where magical beasts are said to originate from. Whenever humanity tried to venture there in the past, ancient manuscripts describe great calamities. Like over 200 years ago, there was a treaty signed to leave that place alone. The guy in the video says it's nonsense to be tied down by superstitions that are spread by countries who are declining. The time has come for a rising nation, the driving force behind modern society, to open up a new door. Now he's saying their new growth is just making them cocky. He's wondering if they actually have a plan, and she's saying this is not actually a new thing. It's only a new door because nobody's trying to risk that shit. But Cheeto points out that since their empire low-key switched regimes like 30 years ago from a social imperialism to democracy, they may have neglected to renew the treaties of the past. But Beans is like, nah, wait, the real problem is coming up. And the guy in the video says to lead the Dark Continent expedition team, we've acquired the most qualified person available. Now let me introduce you to the greatest specialist in the world, a veteran among fighters in active service his whole life, the legendary pro hunter Isaac Netero. We've hired his son, Captain Beyond Netero. But they're all like, hold the hell up. Netero had a son? Like, none of the Zodiacs had any clue about this. He says, my father always used to say, when you stop challenging yourself, your life is over. Deciphering myths and exploring ruins, we learn where our ancient ancestors came from. And they're all kind of starting to get emotional because he sounds just like his daddy. He says, no matter how many obstacles stand in the path to our goal, I promise I will remove them. Now, age, gender, nationality, employment, race, none of it matters. Everyone deserves an equal opportunity. And I will turn down no challenger. Anyone who wants to win this new land is my family, and each person will have a role to play. All you need is the courage to step forward. Now come one, come all to Kakin. Let us go to the new world. He screams, I promise to take you there. And they're all just shook because he's really pulling at their heartstrings, like he's just like his dad. And none of them can even bring themselves to say anything because it's like Netero was talking to him. Then Bean says that the chairman left 2 DVDs because he knew this would happen and slides it to him. It was just in case anyone came forward claiming to be his child. Now some of them want to watch it right now, but Jing and Periston aren't present. So Cheeto's just gonna make a general statement to the public. The video has over 100 million views in 1 hour. And that's when we see him chilling as he's receiving hundreds of thousands of applications over the phone. He galvanized a lot of people to want to explore the Dark Continent. He received a request from the V5 Alliance of Nations to take down the video. He just brushes all that shit off and continues what he's doing. But then one of his advisors points out that he needs the approval of V5, how the process could take 5 months to get accepted and all these other semantics. He's like, bro, who cares? Just shut that shit up. It would make me sit around for years waiting for their permission. Then after dropping a fortune, I might get to accompany the expedition on a supervised sightseeing tour. But nah, I want to go where nobody has done before. Meet people that nobody has met. I want to explore without bounds, acquire things that nobody has touched in the great wide open, leaving my mark on virgin territory. I won't turn down anyone who joins or chase down anybody who leaves. I will crush anybody that tries to interfere. And we see that this is where Periston is. A rat himself already into some sneaky shit. We learned that him and the boar known as Jing have both submitted requests to leave the Zodiacs. They don't want to be a part of the High Hunter Council anymore. And Cheeto approved them. Where it turns out everybody is here and they can look at the rest of the message. They also got a special mission from V5 to hunt down Netero's son.